I'm James McGuire, and on today's IT Roundtable, we're talking about how to use automation to transform your digital workspace. Certainly a topic that many companies are focused on these days. To discuss that, I'm joined by two industry experts. With me is Andrew Sweeney, co-founder of ReadyWorks. Andrew, very good to have you on board today. Also with me is Bill Bernius, Director of End User Services at Tradeweb. Hello to you, Bill. All right, so let's talk about automation, but first let's get a little bit of background. Bill, can you tell us something about Tradeweb? What does the company do?
Tradeweb Markets is a leading global operator in electronic marketplaces for rates, credits, equities, and money markets. We're currently serving 2,500 clients in more than 65 countries, and we are global and support North America, EMEA, and Asia.
So I imagine that there's many possible problems there. I mean, it's a complex business. What problem were you trying to solve?
We've grown really fast. I mean, we've gone public 2 years ago. The company's grown at a very rapid pace. We were a company built by acquisition. We didn't have a standard working environment. It was very difficult to quickly deploy solutions out to our end users based on all the different configurations.
Mm-hmm. So plenty of challenges, I'm sure. I mean, what's the major challenges you encountered?
Some of the major challenges we had, like I said, we have a very diverse user base. We support voice traders, electronic traders, developers, operations people, as well as the corporate staff that supports them all. As you can imagine, launching or delivering a solution to those people, everybody has very different requirements. So it took us, probably 4 to 5 times longer to deliver things than it should be based on the environment. We also had to manage the different environments regionally. So what was done in the US might have been done different in the UK versus Asia. And that just gave us not the best user experience overall. It made it difficult for our global teams to use the technology solutions in a global fashion. And also it just made it very difficult for us to support them.
Well, so how did Tradeweb attempt to solve the problem before going to ReadyWorks? Did you have a do-it-yourself solution or what did you try?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of great technology in place. It just, there was a lot of heavy lifting and things were done differently in different places. I think, because the environment wasn't standard, it was just very, like I said, very difficult. It was complex for us to get things out.
Mm-hmm. Well, what finally made you choose ReadyWorks for your solution?
There's a lot of benefits to ReadyWorks. I've used it in the past at a previous company that I worked at, and we've had a lot of success using the tool to deliver that project. Some of the key benefits was just having a tool that would give us the full overview of the environment or technology we were trying to support, kind of collecting the data from different sources and pulling them in as an integration point, and be able to use that data to make data-driven decisions. It took the guesswork out of a lot of things and gave us the opportunity to really focus on areas of need and to optimize and standardize.
I assume there were some features and functionalities that you really wanted. I mean, what were those key features and functionalities?
Yeah, I think, the ability to create dashboards, to create the proper reporting, to kind of break that information up for the different levels that we need to get it to, whether it was a C-level person, somebody on the operations level. That was a big benefit. Another benefit was having the overall the communication piece. We haven't worked with a tool like that had that in the past, where it had the ability to go and as we delivered these engagements, to have this enablement and user enablement communication marketing piece that would allow us to adopt a marketing plan, a communications plan that would, as we were going through things, we could involve the users or the targeted people that would be impacted by some of these technology decisions. So it definitely was very inclusive and proactive.
So your entire team played a role, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the team was able to leverage the tool. We have great people, and that's a great thing, but having the great tools for them to work made them work much more efficient. And again, it really gave us the ability to do things in a more proactive fashion, streamlined and optimized. And then by doing that, it also gives us more time to spend with our user base to collect that feedback and making sure we're putting solutions out that make sense for them, that enable them to do their jobs better.
Right. So Andrew, you got the Tradeweb's job in the door. So how did ReadyWorks approach the project?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for us, a big piece going into it was really evangelizing the concept of IT work management or digital conductors, as Gartner calls it,
Mhm.
using orchestration and using automation to deliver a program one time and then be able to deliver that program over and over again at, um, quicker each time and at a better cost each time. So really coming into it, our goal was to serve as it's kind of cliche, but really be a technology partner with Bill
Mhm.
and his team.
Mhm.
Bill had stated to us that the goal was to create a new standard operating environment that was data driven and something that Tradeweb could stay not necessarily at the cutting edge, but certainly in the forefront from all the changes that are happening in digital workspace. And so the platform obviously was essential to that. And then we dedicated a customer success team to really work beside Bill and his team to just to navigate through it and drive it forward and make sure that we were both mutually successful.
Mhm. Yeah, that concept of partnership is so key. I mean, companies really want that. They don't want us to be sold a solution. They want that partnership.
That's exactly right. No one wants to buy another tool, right? The people
Right.
just want to buy a solution to a problem. So, yeah.
Yeah. So for the Tradeweb job, what was required?
Sure. Tradeweb, like pretty much every enterprise, it's really all about the data. When you think about an infrastructure transformation, certainly a digital workspace transformation, you can't automate until you have clean data. And if I think about Tradeweb, it's an environment that's undergone so much change. Bill mentioned they went public 2 years ago. Obviously, that was
Mhm.
pretty big.
Mhm.
COVID, where 100% of their workforce essentially went remote overnight, like so many other
Right.
organizations. And it's a company built out of acquisition, so as many are. So you have so much siloed data. And so we really come in and we take it at face value, the concept that within any enterprise, the data is never going to be perfect. There's always going to be ongoing volatility in the environment in one form or another. And so as we look at, as we built ReadyWorks and what the platform is really good at, that the big requirement is to identify data sources that are relevant to the program, whether in this case, things like Active Directory, SCCM, ServiceNow,
Mhm.
those types of platforms, be
Mhm.
able to pull information from the respective systems, clean it up, correlate it, analyze it within our ETL platform, and be able to use that to gain an understanding of the environment. So Bill was really big on wanting to make sure, as he mentioned, he has such a diverse workplace with the traders and the corporate and developers, the different people. He wants to understand what is everybody using, what is going to be the optimal target environment to send them to, so that really him and his team could maximize what they were delivering and give them the best experience. So we pulled the data in, we worked together to help identify that, and then once we had that information, then it was about, okay, now how do we actually transform this place? And so, our customer success team, working with Bill and his project team and his engineers, thought about, all right, what's going to be the most effective way to migrate people over to this new modern workplace, and then
Mhm.
with a real keen eye towards not only doing that now this one time, but recognizing with the new Microsoft servicing model that this likely will be a program that'll be done every year, or at the most, or at least once every 2 years. And
Mhm.
so we really just wanted to kind of go in, figure out those workflows, which we built. Now they're being used to run this program, and again, the expectation is that those will be what is ongoing from kind of here on out to maintain the environment.
Mhm. So what are the similarities between this project and other IT migration projects? I imagine you've seen a lot of IT migration projects.
Sure, sure. When it comes to infrastructure transformation, they all kind of have traditionally suffered from the same types of problems, and we have that broken up really into four boxes, if you would. So first, there's the data problem, and what I mean by that is, and especially as you look at an organization, a lot of organizations now that are undergoing digital transformation, and everyone is at some point
Mhm.
in that journey. Digital
Right.
transformation is a decade-long process. The first big problem is data, right? So you've got legacy systems, you've got brand new systems, you've got everybody's hybrid, so multi-cloud and on-prem systems. And
Right.
so if you're an infrastructure person, you need to be able to pull data from all of those places and figure out how it's all related to each other, and be doing that constantly to run any type of program. So that's the data problem. The
Mhm.
planning problem comes in where, because that's hard to do with the data, it's hard to make decisions about what's the best way to transform or to move a workload. And so it's difficult to make kind of accurate plans and accurate budgets. And that leads you to your manual process problem, because since your plans are kind of off and the data is difficult to get, it's impossible to automate if you haven't gotten that part right. And so now you're left with consultants or your own team really running these very mission critical programs on spreadsheets and email, which obviously is not great, which drives the final problem, which is risk. So if you've got data that's not great, a plan that's okay, and you're running these programs, using spreadsheets and consultants, that ultimately introduces risk. So when any customer comes to us for an IT migration problem, we try to talk about how the ReadyWorks platform tackles those things. We sit as an orchestration layer on top of all the systems, on top of your team and your end users, to pull in all the relevant data into one place. Let you use that to make a plan, and Bill's case, how to modernize his entire workplace for the entire organization. Then we automate every single thing that could be automated in that. And it's important to recognize, and Bill touched upon it with communications, it's not just about automating the technology. It's not about patching or pushing out an image. It's also about letting a user know that they're going to get an upgrade, letting a user schedule themselves, letting the head of a business unit know that this is coming, and let him or her be able to see, hey, what's the status of my team? Are they on the new platform? Are they not on the new platform? And then being able to give the different stakeholders views into exactly what's going on. So similarities between other IT migration projects: pull the data in. You have to build a great plan, and if you automate as much as possible, you can save a lot of money and deliver a better product.
So the key word there is automation.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about specific outcomes. Bill, what was the business outcome? What advantage did ReadyWorks enable with this project?
Well, the biggest goal for us was creating a standard operating environment, where we can kind of, once that's put in place, then we can start leveraging automation and start looking to work smarter. And with that, that gives the end user a better experience. And, and also for us, we have a large development community that also gave them the tools and the opportunity to develop better. So it increased their experience as well. And then, like Andrew mentioned, it prepared us for the Windows as a service model, which, it was a very high touch process this go around. It's something that we're gonna have to do recurring every year after year. And now it's a light touch process. And we're doing it through automation, leveraging automation, and also leveraging the data that we have, putting people on the right solutions based on what's best for them.
Well, how do you see this expanding to other use cases? I think you're going to get more use out of this. Correct, Bill?
Yeah, again, it's great that we've collected all the data, and I think we could use this for future projects. Some of the examples are just to build different views for the technology owners in our company or the stakeholders, where they can, like Andrew said, to see what's going on, what it means to them, and how they manage their environments. I think we could set different metrics and KPIs, build dashboards for them, give them the data that will help them make smarter decisions. Things like what's their patch compliance, what are they managing, what do the OSs look like in their environment, uptime, availability, things like that. I think it also gives us the ability to, we're managing hybrid environments. And I think this gives us the ability to kind of do that through orchestration, automation through the tool. And again, it's all data driven, as Andrew said before. I mean, using the data analysis to kind of make those decisions, improve performance, stability, and security. And, and that leads into us doing things more efficiently, which is cost management, which makes everybody happy.
Andrew, what do you see in terms of expanding this to other use cases?
Yeah, I'll build upon what Bill said about the hybrid environments. I know everyone's going to cloud, but to be 100% cloud is a distant target for most organizations. And most organizations for the next 5 to 8 years, maybe forever, will be in some type of hybrid form. And so when we think of use cases, you've really just gotten more complex. Now, if you want to transform something on your journey for a digital transformation, you need to orchestrate cloud, you need to orchestrate on-prem, you need to orchestrate a workforce that is more distributed than it's ever been. And then you have the future complexity of IoT and the Internet of Behaviors and the edge and those types of items. So for us, our other customers, particularly our other financial customers, they use our platform to transform these hybrid environments. And so for me, that's, taking workloads out of a data center and moving the right ones into the cloud and leaving the right ones on-prem or in a colo. It's perhaps virtualizing some of the desktops or all of the desktops and putting them in an intelligent solution. Taking a look at a remote workforce that's working from home. Do we need an OS on everybody's home computer and applications pushed out that way? I don't think so. And so you see a lot of people using us to analyze that and make decisions around that. IoT I mentioned, and smart buildings, that's certainly becoming more and more. And then really it's an old topic, but it's one that's still relevant, which is asset management and the asset life cycle. There's just more assets than there ever were. When I started my career, it was a desktop and a server. And now it's a desktop, a laptop, a mobile phone, a server, a cloud instance, an edge instance, so on and so forth.
Right.
And so it's really, the amount of staff hasn't increased. They're just being asked to do more. And the answer around that is on automation. So to answer your question, use cases for us is really anything around hybrid infrastructure and hybrid infrastructure transformation, and people that think that they can get a benefit out of being able to orchestrate and automate that entire type of program.
So where can people go if they want to learn more?
Sure. The website's a great place to start, www.readyworks.com. I would encourage your listeners to go and check out the case studies. I think that's the best place to understand what we've been able to do with other customers with the platform. And if it looks like something that might be of interest, if there's a program or a transformation project coming up, there's a very good likelihood that we could substantially cut down the cost and the risk of that program. So check out a demo and go from there.
Great. Well, it's a lot of good stuff. Andrew, Bill, I appreciate you sharing your expertise today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.